Hey, y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates, and this is my Seattle Housing Market Watch for July 16th, 2024. Well, we're a few weeks into July here, and we are also coming off of the 4th of July week, which is historically a really slow week of the year. Typically, the week before 4th of July and the week after 4th of July are fairly slow with new listings and sales happening. And so now we're jumping into where we're going to see some of the, I would say, majority of the summer listings start coming on the market in the next couple weeks. And we're seeing that here with a big jump in the new listings, 904 new listings in King and Snohomish County over the past week. We were in the 300s last week. For perspective, when I was looking at the numbers, I didn't make a market watch last week because of the monthly market updates. So if you haven't seen those yet, jump back and look at the monthly market update recap from last month. Home prices are up year over year. We've been seeing the inventory building though, and then again, stalling around the holiday. But we're starting to get into that point of the year where things are maybe going to sit on the market a little bit. And we're going to see some price reductions or more price reductions. So for buyers, this is your kind of opportunity to maximize the most amount of houses on the market and also maybe a little less competition. But even as I say that, I've had a few different scenarios. I've got a client right now, they've sold their house. We're looking for a different one. And the market's interesting, right? There's one house that they like that's been sitting on the market for weeks and the seller just doesn't want to drop. They're super inflexible on the price, right? We're trying to negotiate with them a little bit. Not happening, not even a counter offer, which is interesting. And then another one that they liked yesterday had multiple offers. There were 4 offers on this house and it went over asking price and sold in less than a week, right? And they're fairly close together, different types of houses. And so, one of them is definitely overpriced. One of them was, I would say, priced right, but the priced right one had multiple offers, right? And some competition, not a lot, but a little bit. And so that's a little bit of a microcosm of what we've been seeing. And I talked about that again in those monthly market update videos last week. Now, we talked about price reductions. We had 517 price reductions in King and Snohomish County. And we also had 17 contingent purchases, right? So we're still seeing people that are buying contingent on a home sale and also those price reductions. And those are 2 signs to me that there's opportunity for buyers in negotiations, not on everything, but 517 price reductions is a lot. That's about 50% of the new listings, right? Actually, more than 50% of the new listing number, which means there's a lot of houses out there that have been starting to sit on the market for a little bit and people are wanting to get those sold. And again, that's not uncommon for this time of year. In fact, it's going to be interesting to see what the mortgage rates do here because we had lower inflationary data and now there's, again, speculation that, okay, now maybe we're going to start seeing those Fed rate cuts. And then in turn, we're going to start to see these mortgage rates continue to come down. I think there's some hope that that is going to be the case, which will then, I believe, stimulate the housing market as a result. So we're seeing pending sales. Let's keep going on our list here. Pending sales, 749. Sold listings, 671. We're continuing to see the buyer activity, right? But again, there were so many listings that came on the market this past week. A lot of that would have been pent up homes that maybe were ready, waiting until after the 4th of July holiday. And I have, I've got a couple signed listing agreements coming up and a few others that are in the works. All of those are most likely going to be in August sometime, early September. So there are definitely listings that I have coming up. So feel free to reach out if you're looking for things in the general Seattle area. I might have something for you, but there are more listings, I would say, coming up here in the coming months. And the interest rates, again, we'll continue to watch those. That will be a telling piece of how competitive maybe the market will be this fall. I suspect that in the summer, we're going to have enough listings to keep the market I wouldn't say cooled off, but at least more in a more of a neutral position for buyers and sellers. But come fall, when the listing inventory starts to decline, if interest rates are coming down at the same time, I think it'll be a relatively competitive fall, and that might continue through the holiday season. So buyers, this is maybe that window to start considering the beginning of a search. Even if you've got a few more months on your lease, it typically does take, I'd say, 2 to 3 months on average to get from, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house to, hey, I got a house. And when it's competitive, it takes even longer to make that happen. So getting started sooner rather than later is always a benefit to buyers, I think, for a few different reasons. Number one, you have the time to make a good decision. Number two, you have more options to consider, right? When you have less time, you have those fewer options. And there's also, I'd say, number three, less pressure, right? You're not feeling this sense of urgency to make it happen, which sometimes causes people to make a decision they wouldn't otherwise make in the home buying process. So my prognosis for the week, hey, we have more listings coming on. That's normal. We have interest rates starting to tick down again into the upper 6s. We're out of the low 7s. And we have on the horizon potentially some rate cuts and lower mortgage rates, which in my opinion is going to cause more competition in the market. It might even start now with that speculation. So if you have questions about what's going on in the Seattle area housing market, King County, Snohomish County, I would love to be a resource for you. And if there's any way that I can bring value to you as a buyer, seller, investor in real estate here, I'd love to hear from you.